so let's begin. Moral intelligence, the ethical compass brain. This one doesn't get talked about much, probably because it doesn't make anyone money. But if you've ever felt uncomfortable when others laugh at someone's pain, chosen not to cheat something just because it felt wrong, or stress cleaned your soul after telling a tiny lie, you might have moral intelligence. It's basically the brain's built-in justice radar. People with this trait instinctively sense right and wrong, not because of rules or religion, but because their conscience is loud. They feel guilt fast, hate unfairness, and notice hypocrisy. The thing is, they often seem overly sensitive, dramatic, or too intense. Intuitive intelligence. Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you ever made a decision that made no logical sense, but ended up being 100% right? That's intuitive intelligence, the rarest and most misunderstood of them all. These are people who feel things before they understand them. They get a vibe before they get proof. They know who to trust instantly. They sense when someone's hiding something, even if they don't say a word. People call them paranoid, dramatic, too sensitive. But science actually supports it. Logical, mathematical intelligence. People who have this can look at a question like, if train A leaves at 5 PM when it will reach the station, and actually feel interested. This is the type of intelligence most people think of when they hear the word smart, which is why kids who were good at math in school were treated like mythical creatures. Teacher explains something once and they're just sitting there like, yeah, that makes sense. They'll willingly spend 6 hours solving a Sudoku because it's fun. Logical intelligence is really useful if you want to become an engineer or explain cryptocurrency to your grandma. Just don't expect it to help you interpret why someone replied okay with a period. Linguistic intelligence, the word wizard. These people think in metaphors, argue like lawyers, and type faster than most people think. You know, the ones who always win debates even when they're wrong. They're not just good at English, they understand languages at all. They're great at writing, storytelling, explaining complex ideas in plain words, making dad jokes with tragic precision. They correct grammar and memes, overthink captions, and probably wrote poetry at some point and now deny it. But deep down, they know exactly how to use words to make people laugh or accidentally confess crimes. The one that makes you sound smarter than you actually are. You can explain complicated things in a way that actually makes sense. They also finished essays in 20 minutes because their brains naturally produce paragraphs that sound like they've been edited by a professional author. Spatial intelligence. The one that lets you rotate objects in your head like you're running a 3D simulation. Spatial intelligence is basically the ability to visualize things in your brain and not immediately get confused. People who have it can look at a blueprint or a random pile of IKEA pieces and somehow understand how it all fits together. It's also why some people are really good at video games, drawing, design, architecture, or knowing which way is north without using Google Maps like the rest of us. They just instinctively understand space and distance. You ask them, do you think this couch will fit in that corner? And they immediately go, yeah, but you'll have about 12 centimeters on the left side for the plant. Meanwhile, you're still trying to remember how long a centimeter is. Spatial intelligence is also what allows people to mentally rotate objects. The downside is that people with high spatial intelligence will occasionally try to explain things using phrases like, just picture it in your head, which is genuinely offensive to the rest of us because if we could do that, we wouldn't be asking in the first place. Interpersonal intelligence. The one that lets you read other people like a social detective. Interpersonal intelligence is basically being good at understanding other people. It's spotting tiny changes in tone, body language, and facial expression and going, something's definitely wrong. They said, I'm fine, way too fast. It also means knowing how to respond to different people. For example, some friends want advice. Other friends just want someone to listen and say, that's crazy. People with interpersonal intelligence can tell which one you need. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence. People who have it can control their movements precisely, react quickly, and generally don't trip over absolutely nothing like the rest of us. These are the people who pick up a random sport and are instantly good at it, which is annoying and should honestly be illegal. They also understand their body in a really intuitive way. Musical intelligence. People with this intelligence can pick up rhythms, melodies, and harmonies the way other people pick up gossip, instantly and with very little effort. They'll hear a song once and somehow remember every note. It's also why some people can play instruments by ear. They hear a few notes on the piano and immediately know how to play it back. Even if they're not professional musicians, musical people still can't help tapping on things. If you've ever been in class and heard someone quietly beatboxing for no reason, that's musical intelligence. Naturalistic intelligence. The one that lets you instantly identify a random bird. Okay, so people with this intelligence can look at a random plant and just go, ah yes, that's an eastern redbird. They're also the kind of people who can tell the weather without using an app. This is the same intelligence used by biologists, geologists, farmers. So if you've ever walked through nature and thought, oh wow, that's a northern yellow-throated warbler, that's naturalistic intelligence. Okay, so comment down below if you want me to make a video on different MBTI personality types. Also like and share this video with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.